Good morning, class. How are you doing? So, today we need to start vaporization. So, if you remember, we had discussed in the previous lecture about solidification, no, for the freezing thing. So, there we were talking that liquids have higher energy and solids have low energy, right? And when liquid turns into solid, like if water freezes, what will happen? It leaves its energy into the surrounding. So now if solid is being converted or liquid is being converted to a gaseous state, now gases have even more energy. So in order to convert into gas, liquid will need some more energy, right? So when liquid is heated, it converts into vapor. Heat is related with energy. So in order to give it more energy, we need to heat it. Okay. So normally what we do when we heat water, its temperature starts rising and then it starts boiling and then it converts into this thing, steam. Okay. So this is the process of boiling. But what happens, you might have seen, if you leave water in some vessel for say some days, then what happens, the level of water will automatically start lowering. Or you have seen that if you dry your clothes in sunlight, what happens, the water in your clothes vanishes. Where does it go? It is vaporized. That is called evaporation. There also water or the liquid is converted into uh, gaseous state, right? So that is evaporation. So what is the difference between evaporation and boiling? Boiling is occurring at the boiling point, that is at a particular temperature, but evaporation can occur at any temperature. We don't actually need to heat the thing, right? Even at normal temperatures, if you leave some water in your room also, so in 2 or 3 days you can actually see the level of the water lowering down. Fine. So the particles of a liquid, you already know they are in motion, so they have energy and they keep on transferring their energy from one particle to another. So you can see in this paragraph, second paragraph in vaporization, they have taken the example of a carom board. What you do when you hit a counter with your striker, you give energy, you are hitting the striker, you give energy to the striker, and then the striker strikes any counter, it transfers its energy to that particular counter. Now that counter hits some other counter and it transfers the energy to that one. So the energy is being transferred from one counter to another. Similarly, in case of liquids, what happen, the molecules or the particles, they keep on colliding with each other and keep on transferring the kinetic energy to each other. In this process, what will happen, the topmost layer of liquid, the molecules in that particular layer will be getting energy from the lower layers, from the particles in the lower layers, and what will happen, they will, in that process, they will leave the surface, and when they are removed from the surface, they simply convert into gaseous state, because now they are away from the surface. When the molecules are very far apart, that is the case of gases, right? So the molecules leave the surface. That is what happens in case of earthen vessels, ghada, that we use at homes. So what happened, when you fill it with water, the it has small pores in it, so water seeps into those pores, and what the water molecules which is at the topmost layer of the vessel, that will leave the vessel, or that will leave the its surface, right? So in that process, in order to leave that surface, it needs some energy, and where will it get that energy from the other molecules of water, right? So when it takes energy from them, it leaves the surface, and what happens to the other molecules, they have given their energy to that particular molecule to leave the surface, so they themselves lower their temperature. They themselves lower their energy, and eventually their temperature falls down, and we find cool or cold water in earthen vessels, right? So this can be a question for you. uh, how does water cools in earthen vessels? So you can simply tell that the water seeping out from the vessel will leave the surface of the vessel, and in that process it will take energy from the other molecules, and eventually it will leave the water cold, right? And then if you are heating water or say some liquid, then initially the temperature energy will start rising, and in that process its temperature increases, and the rate of evaporation will increase. The energy will be transferred from one particle to another, and the surface molecules will start leaving the surface rapidly. If you keep on heating the liquid, the energy will rise so much that bubbles start forming. The molecules are all wanting to leave the surface. All the molecules are so eager to leave that surface. So bubbles start forming, and in at that process the temperature will not rise. If you remember, we had discussed in freezing also, at after a particular temperature, when the solidification had started, after that, until all the whole liquid did not solidify, till then the temperature did not rise, did not fall. There the temperature was falling. Here we are heating, so after the just at the point where boiling will start, the change of state will start from liquid to gaseous state. Just that point of temperature will be called boiling point, and until all of the liquid will not convert into gaseous state, the temperature of the liquid will not rise further. So you can see this curve, figure 1.10. Here again, as we had studied in previous lecture for freezing, see, x-axis is showing time and y-axis is showing temperature. So as the time passes by, they are starting from 0 degree or even lower temperature. So initially the temperature was very low, and if when the temperature has started rising up to 0, at 0 degree Celsius melting will start. Okay, we are starting from solid state. When the temperature is very low, even less than 0, then the thing will be solidified, right? So okay, they are talking about water, so ice we have. Okay, so when we start rising the temperature up to 0 degree Celsius, the temperature will rise but no change of state is happening. Okay, at 0 degree Celsius melting will start, and up to certain time, till the process of change of state is taking place, the solid is being converted to liquid, ice is converted to water. During this process the temperature will not rise. Can you see a horizontal line where it is written melting? That horizontal line shows that temperature is not rising. And then again, once the melting process is done, again the temperature starts rising. You can see the slant line that shows in a very small time change in temperature was very high, and up to a certain temperature till the boiling point the temperature was rising, and then at the particular temperature 100 degrees Celsius the boiling started. Up till the whole process, the change of state is taking place, now the temperature will not rise. Okay, so this you need to understand. And the next thing, when we are talking about boiling point of any substance, like I say that water is the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius, that means we are talking about the normal atmospheric pressure, right? If the pressure lowers down, the boiling point also lowers down. If pressure will increase, the boiling point will also increase. That means at low pressure we will have low boiling point. So this is what happens at high altitudes. See, you are having this here at high altitudes. That means at hills. What will happen at hills? Pressure is very low. Because of low pressure, the water will boil at low temperature. It will have a low boiling point. Low boiling point means water will boil very fast. So it is difficult for them to cook food, cook vegetables or anything, because the water boils so fast that uh, the heat that is actually required for the process is not we are not able to provide it to the food. Okay, so it's good to cook in pressure cooker, uh, that you have seen normally also at your kitchen. That if you want to cook something in an open utensil, it will be very difficult. It takes much time, and if you cook in pressure cooker, it cooks very fast, because we have increased the pressure. Pressure increased means high boiling point, and the thing will boil at a higher temperature. Water will boil at a higher temperature. Okay, so here we have this figure 1.11, the graph. So here they have shown boiling point on x-axis and pressure at the y-axis. So you can see as the as the pressure is increasing, boiling point will also increase, or vice versa. As boiling point, if you say higher boiling point, if you're talking about, then the pressure will increase. Okay, so I think that's all for today, and you can write two questions you can have. First, how does water cool in earthen vessels? Why are earthen vessels helpful to cool water? One question. And the other one, you can find out the differences between evaporation and boiling. See, on this page, the first paragraph, they have already given you the differences between evaporation and boiling. So you can write the differences. There are two differences, so you can write them, and please practice the graphs. See, this is the graph for curve for changing of water at different states. Okay, this particular graph, figure 1.10, it shows you the whole change of state in water, from ice to water and then water to steam. This whole thing is shown over here. Okay, figure 1.10. So practice it. Figure 1.11 also you need to practice, and the previous day we had discussed one graph, so you should this one, figure 1.7 it is. So you need to practice these graphs. Okay, so I'll pause here, and stay well. Bye.